Okay. Hello, good afternoon to you all. Uh, I hope I hope you are doing well. Coming, I think I have to use. Yeah, I hope you are all doing well. It's been a long time. Is that not it? I hope you can hear me. Please, can you hear me? Mm, yeah, can you hear me? Let me know. Okay, today we'll be starting our journey on what SQL. I think what we'll be doing will just go straight. I think I just launched my workbench. I mean my workbench. Yeah. So I expect you all to have opened your workbenches if you want to follow. Maybe a new. This one is. Let me use a new script. Open a new script. Now let's create a new. Okay, so a new one like this. I think I've just sent the SQL file into the group, so you can be using that for our studies, for our yeah walkthrough. So yes, this is what we'll be doing. This is what we'll be doing, and as I said, we start today. We look at the syntax, SQL syntax, how we write SQL queries. You see that? Okay. So as I just said, I mentioned SQL what queries, SQL syntax. Is when we say a syntax, just as we were doing with Python, the syntax is how the way you write the in Python it was what the way we write the Python um, code, the way we write the code, the acceptable way. So here too it is just the same way. It comprises of several types of statements that allow you to perform what various commands and operations. We just as we were doing with Python, it's more of like the way we write code here, right? So yes, and I just mentioned what queries. Queries is more of like the SQL code that you write to execute. So it's more of like a query. You use it to query a data set. The language is more of like you see, SQL and Python. Yeah, this one is more of like a commanding language. So it is a that's how come most of the statements you'll be hearing statements, you'll be hearing queries. This one is more of like you tell it to do something, right? Um, Python, the programming languages were the Python programming language. You see that we had to, if you want to do something, it's more of like let's say you want to bath. We want to we are using that example. You want to bath in Python. You say what? You write the code for you to get a bucket, then you get a bucket or go to the shower. Okay, let's take the scenario whereby you use a bucket of water to bath. So fetch water, go to the bathroom, take your soap, apply the soap on your sponge, then use water. Then you see you step by step before the program will be executed. But these ones are more of like declarative. When you come to SQL, SQL is more of like a declarative language. You see that? So over here in SQL, we just tell you, hey, I'm going go and bath or bath. Then it will, the language itself knows that for it to bath, it has to do this, it has to do this, it has to do this before it will do that work for you, right? That's just the difference. Some slight difference between those two languages. Mhm. So yes, we'll be looking at the syntax. I know we are already in the. I'm already in my workbench, right? I'm already in my workbench. I clicked on my workbench. I click on the local host. Then I entered my password, and I'm here. So I'm coming to write. Let me take this ones off. Let me take this ones off. Let me take this one off. Yes. Don't save. Don't save. So I'm in this file. This is the only file that I want currently. I know you might not have your over here at your left hand side, your databases will not be matched like this, maybe because it is new, and as I said, maybe it could be only what the sys alone, right? Yeah. So just I want to know if you've been able. I think I've walked through this one in the previous video when we did the setup. So getting to the workbench shouldn't be an issue for you, right? So yes, as I've said, now for SQL, that is a language that we use to query databases. We used to we used to pull data from a database. We used to insert data into a database and all those sorts of things. In total, we use is the language that we use to communicate with what databases. So yes, now that we are coming to look at the syntax, SQL itself is what subdivided into these three sub languages, right? The we have a data definition. So we have what? Data definition, 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 definition language. Mm, yeah, data definition language. Okay. So, and this one, yeah, they are just what? It is just divided into about the three major. We'll be dealing with the three major one. The data definition. We'll be dealing with what? Data manipulation, 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 and then language, and then we'll look at what? Uh, control. This year, language. Yeah, yeah, sub languages. It's more of like these sub languages are just more of like it is used to classify. It is just used to what classify the statements that as based on the work that they do. Based on they are just subdivided into just subdivided based on the work or the what they do, right? So as I said, we'll be looking. We'll start with what the data definition language. Looking at the data definition language, right? So yes, so what do we do? A set of statements. So what work do the definition? Look at the name. Define definition. It's more of like it is coined from what define. So it's just like you use it to what it allows you to define or modify structures or objects we'll be looking at. So I said what? The last time I mentioned some few terms that we'll be working with, like some key things that we mentioned, columns, tables, and databases. Have you seen that? So when we are talking about objects here, it could be what the objects could be what a table, the object could be a column, the object or the database itself, right? So those are the things. So when we say data definition language, they are those ones that you use to define those structures, right? Okay. So what are those statements that are under data definition? Statements that are under data definition. One, we'll be looking at the first one, which is what? the create the create statement. So that is our first work that we are going to do. So let me just do this way. Let me Okay, so we'll be working with the create statement, right? So the create statement. Okay, so what is the name just speaks for itself. It is used for what? Creating databases and database objects such as what? Tables, right? So you use it to create stuff. Use it to create stuff that we want to do. Okay, so let me see. It doesn't fill up the whole screen. We want it to fill up the whole screen. They wanted to fill up the whole, so let me take this one off. Yeah, I think that is the only thing that I know I want to take off or I should take off. The rest, let me see if I can view um see, view view. Select the main tab panels now. I think back. Let me get back. Oh, I think it has opened a new one. Close. I'm not opening a new one. I think oh, what happened? What happened? Yeah, yes, please. The screen size. Yeah, think okay. Talking about the size. Let me see. View. Edit. Edit. Let me see. Preference. Font and colors. Let me see if SQL editor. Let me see. See. Let me add. Let me hope that when I do more, it will be better. I think from 16. Let me still increase. Still, still. I'm coming on. Sorry. The font, increasing the font, results, scripts. Okay, scripts. Let me see if I do this. Oh, still, still. Okay, maybe we'll have to go with that. Hmm, occasional font, font and the other one. No connection established. Make sure you've connect to the database. You maybe you didn't enter the password. Confidence, fonts, Anna. Yeah, SQL text editors, SQL. Let's see. Just open that. This gets it. Script editor. Uh, uh, then we would have to manage. We'll have to continue. I know why. Ooh, it's not. We'll have to continue this way. It's not the edits that we did didn't go with it. Scripts should have been in the edits over here. It should have been here. Should be here. Should be here. Should be here. Mhm. Oh, I don't know because these are fonts. Tried all of this and code editors and string. Let me equally make this ones six. It didn't work. We didn't get it. I tried changing them and we will have to we'll have to continue this way for now. We'll have to continue this. I tried look try to increase it, but I'm not getting it. Because then view no view should have been here. The preference should have been here, but I've increased it over here. I've seen the font done the increment over here. I don't know. Let me see others. No, no. Oh. Okay, think we have to continue. I use okay. Continue. Okay. So yes, as I said, the create is used to what create objects or structures. So we'll first look at how to maybe want to create a table or a database itself. Yes, so maybe we would like to create a table. Like to create a database first, then you create tables in between in the database, right? So yes, the size. As for the size, the outputs, I'm not fam. I just try to increase it and I didn't get it right. So yes, let's go. Okay, let's go. So what is the syntax? The syntax for creating, writing this statement. So let's just create. So when you this is the keyword. The keyword is what creates. That is the statements that we'll be using. So we'll be seeing several statements. So this is our first statements that we'll be working with. So set place is still the same. Connect and let me see database server. um Click on database, connect to database, right? Confidence, connect, click on this. When you click on this, I think yes, you'll be expected to write establish the connection. You give what, I think you just give the, or click on it. Try because you have to enter. You see, it's just the same. Mine is just the same thing over here. It is not connected. Try getting it connected. So create, then we say what? The object. We are just writing the syntax first. So you create, you the statement is what? Create. And the next thing should be what? This is the syntax. Object type, right? Object type. Then after the object type, then the object name comes, the name that you are giving to that object. And in SQL, the moment you finish writing your code, your semicolon comes. So when you write it this way, create object create. So the object type that we are going to do, what we first want to create, what, a new database, then we'll create a table in it, right? So the object type that we want to create would be what? A database, right? Will be a database. Then what, the name that we want to give it, then we'll specify. Are we together? So let's do that. Let's say let's create data database, right? And what is the name of the database that we want to create? Can say what, do I have GTL? Yeah, I already have GTL. So what do I want to do? Tertiary, right? So when we do this, when I do this, I'm creating a new database called what? Tertiary, in which I'll create tables in it, tables in it tables in it. So when you just write, so you see the syntax here, it was what? Create, then the object type, then the object name. And here I'm saying what? Create. The object type is what? Database. Then the name that I'm giving to it is what? Tertiary. That's all. So when I run this cell, that should be what I'm doing. Are we together? When I run this girl, this that is what I'm doing. Are we together? Okay. So now let me run this thing. Let me run the code that I've written. So I can just click on this standard here. So execute the cell that I have here. So I've clicked on it, and immediately I clicked on it, you see that I have the plus sign. Yeah, it is marked the time of execution, the code that was executed is there. Then the lines affected, like whatever the info. So if it was not successful, I will see it. So now I've created a new database called tertiary. So I should see it in the schemas here. The schema is just what? databases. So why is my database here? I've just created a new database, but it is not here. So the only thing that could be is that we just need to refresh it. We just need to, you see this sign over here. If I refresh it, I should see my tertiary. So when I clicked on it now, it is here. So you see when I click on this sign, there are no tables, so nothing. They see that the table sign, I can't even go into it. There's nothing in the database now, right? There's nothing in the database. I've just created it now, right? So yes, we've been able to use what the create statement, create an object, which is what a database itself that we've created. So it means we now have the whole the database there. We can, as I said, we can create several tables in this database, right? So yes, we can try by doing something. We can try by doing something. Yeah. So yes, we can look at creating what a table, creating a table, and that would be what we trying to so we can say what, let's create a table in this database. We can create create a table, sorry, create what now. This time we are no longer, so I think we have to specify now that we've created a database. Normally if you want to work in a particular database, the right thing is what, to just type use, then you tell the workbench, or you are telling SQL that I want to work in this particular database. So when you type use, you have to specify what the database that you are working with, right? You have to specify that I want to use this database. So if I do the same way, control and enter executes the last line of code. So if I say control and enter, you see that it has now been highlighted that even the database that you are working is always highlighted here, right? So I just did what, use tertiary. Then we now know that this is the database that I want to work in. So now when I come here, I said we want to create what, a table of what, maybe students info. So we say what, create table. Then that one should be what, you see that it is still using the create syntax, right? The create syntax. So create table. Just that for this one, you always have to, when you are doing a table, when you are doing creating a table, you also have to specify every table has what, columns. So you always have to specify the columns, and what, when you are creating a table, you also have to specify the columns. But this one, we always say SQL has some rigid format, in a sense that when you are creating this one, a table, you always have to specify the kind of data, that the type of data that will enter there. So when you say, oh, I'm taking names, the column name is name, you have to tell SQL, oh, okay, this one, it will be a string column, it will be this, it will be this, it will be this, it will be a numbers, um it will be float, it will be whatever. You have to specify or it will be good. You have to specify what you are keeping there, right? So yes, we are going to do. So we are creating a table, and we are saying the table name is what, students. Then now, after we've said what, students, we want to what, specify. We bring our bracket, open brackets. Then we specify that the column name is what, names, name. Then we specify name is what, or let's say some of this ones, the variable type, we'll be looking at them, right? We'll be looking at them. But for now, let's just leave it like this. Let's just take it like this for now, right? Let's just take it like this for now. We'll look at the variables, the data types. We'll get to the data types. We'll get to know what I've, I've said over here, a varying character, a varchar, right? So yes, it means I'm creating a table and I've specified that the name of the table, the column, the one column, I have one column called what? Name, and what? The data type is what? String. It's just what? I just mean strings of the length of the names will not be more than what? 20. That's what I've just specified, right? That's what I've just told SQL. So if I do control and enter, I've executed. You see that at first there was no table here. So let me run this, and now you see there's a table. If I go down, there's what? Table, and the table is called what? Student. If I go further, I see columns. Then there's a column called what? Name. You see that? So when I click on it this way, you see what? The table name is what? Students. It has columns, a column name called what? Name. And it is what? A voucher. We are just, the main focus of this is what? We are just looking at what? The data definitions. So currently we are just working on what? The create statement, how we are able to create objects or structures in us. So we created a database, then we use the database, then now we've created tables in the database. Is that not it? Yeah. So yes, we have done that, right? So yes, we just done that. For now, if you have any, so the next thing that we'll look at, the next, do you have anything about the create statement? Confidence. What is your problem not solved, or you are still having issues with it? Are you still having issues with it? I even tried on it. I even tried on it. Oh, sorry. Confidence. Maybe be that it didn't connect. As I said, if you have, if it, your problem just means that it didn't connect. It didn't connect. Okay. Everybody is okay for now. Uh, Everybody said, please, I'm reinstalling. It's not about the reinstallation. I mean, the problem was just about you entering your password. It's just about you. Password, and you could have. Okay. So the next one, so it seems we are okay. So the next one that we want to look at is what? Alter. So alter, the alter statement is just we use it towards like make changes to existing objects that we have. So yes, maybe we can add. So let me say we just realize, oh, okay, there were in we when we created the students table, we realized no, we should have added age, then we should have added maybe location, we should have added this one. So we realize there's something that we need to add, right? There are some changes that we need to make. So maybe we want to alter, right? So as I said, alter, alter statement. And what? Maybe what do we want to do? We want to add something. We want to add a column, or we want to what? Remove a column. We want to remove, or maybe what? We want to rename. So these are the things. The alter will moves with these guys. Alter, what do you want to do? You want to add a column. Alter, what do you want to do? You want to remove. alter, what do you want? You want to rename something, right? So yes, as I said, um we had what? We created the students table, and we realized maybe we needed to add what? An age column, right? So let's just do that. We want to add what? The age column. So what is the syntax? How are we able to write that syntax too? So yes, the syntax is just this, alter, you go, alter is the auto completion. So alter, then the object name, which is what? Table. Then after that, this one, you are altering a table. Which table are you altering? Maybe there will be several tables, right? So which table are you altering? So you have to tell it that I'm altering what? Students. Then you can altering students. Then you can step down and say what? Or you can put all on what? On the same line, right? So you let me put all on it. So add what? What are we doing? We are adding, then we are adding what? A column. We are adding a column. Then what is the name of the column? uh, you give the name. When you say add column, then you need to, the column that you are adding, then we say what? The object name or column name. That's just what we mean. So if it is object name, then the data type, object name, and then the data type of that object, right? So that is the syntax. Then you conclude your statement this way. So let's do that, exactly what we want to do. So we can go. So we want to alter our table. We want to add what? Age, age to 8. So alter what? Table. And which table? Students, right? Students. We are altering students. So normally you can, it can be on the same line. So let's try both. We can do add column. Add column. Which column are we adding? Then we say what? Age. Then age is what? Then we say age is what? um age is what? An int, eh? Age is an int. Then we go. So the syntax is just as simple as this. We are altering, alter table. Which table are we altering? Students. What? Then we go. The next thing, what are we doing? We are saying we are altering the table. So we are adding a column name what? Age. The data type that will enter there is what? Integers. So just that. So if I do control enter, it has been executed. So let me, you see here, let me refresh now. We should see age. So you see that age is now here too, and it is accepted as an int, right? So let me say maybe, let me use the other syntax too. Maybe by doing that, I'll use what? I'll use let's say location. I want to add a different name called location. So alter what? Alter table. Alter table. Which table are we altering? And I say what? Students. What are we doing? Add column. Add column. What is the column name? I say what? Location. And I say what? Location should be what? A varying character, a varchar. And I say what? Your location maybe 50, right? Then, oh, I didn't want to do it this way. I said a different syntax. So just this. I send it down this way. Then I do what? My quotation, my semicolon. Because SQL will read it from this place. It will start from here until it sees what? The semicolon. That's when it will stop, right? So the breaking of the lines makes the reading very easy. So alter table. Yes, we are altering the students table. What are we doing? We are adding a column name what? Location. And the kind of variables that will be there is what? A varchar, a varying character, right? So you know that, oh, as I said, we'll be looking at what? Those types. So when I just do control and enter, it has been added. So the table now, our database now have a table named students, and that table has what? Three columns. That is name, age, and what? Location. Have you seen that? So that is what we have, and we are all on what? Still on the data definition language, DDL, right? Okay. So yes, as I said, we've been able to do. We've done what we've been able to do what add. We've been able to add the same way we can what rename, right? We'll do renaming and so on, right? We'll do renaming. So as I said, we can rename an object. So what do we want to know? What do we want to do? We want to rename a table. We want to let's say yeah. Let's see, where are you? Okay. I'll be able to do it. We can proceed. Good. So the next thing is what? The next object or the next thing. We are still on as I said, we've been able to this was alter. So we've made these changes. We can maybe we realize that maybe the name that we gave to the table we didn't like it. We want to okay. I think um let's alter a column name, or let's change the table name, a table name first before we go to the next one, right? So let's say rename. We want to rename the table that we created, right? It allows you to rename an object when we talk about the rename, right? So either the object is what, a table, or what, a table or a column or the database itself, right? So let's say rename rename what, table, rename table. Then which table are we renaming? Have you seen that? Which table? You see, SQL syntax is more of like you are just picking brofo and so on. Rename this table to what, maybe stds stds, right? Rename this table to what? So the syntax is just simple. Rename, then the object name, right? So let me rename, then objects name, then you say what? The object name, that is the object type, the type first before the name, right? So let me go here, object underscore type, underscore type, then the name. Oh, okay. Then we say what, to, then the new name, to, then the new name, new object name. So that is what we did, rename. Then with the object that we are renaming, it is what, a table. Then the old name, which is what, students. Then we are naming it to what, stds. So when I do this, I end my statement and I run. Control enter. It has been done. So if I refresh this, you see it is no longer students, it is now stds, right? So we are able to what, do that changes. We are able to do that changes. Are we together? Yeah, we are able to do that changes, right? Are we together? Are we together? Okay, so yes, that was one way. The other one that we could also look at is what, let's see, there's drop that we can work on. Let's drop. How to drop statement is for deleting database objects. So more of like you are deleting the objects. Is you have a table that you want to delete, yeah, you want to take off, right? So you delete the whole table, right? If you want to delete the whole table, you just use what? Drop. So let's look at let's just create a table that we want to drop, right? A table. So let's create a table that we will drop right now. So let's create table info. So info. Let me just create this table. Control. Oh, I didn't add what? The columns in the table. So let's say info. So let's say age int. Okay. Okay, so I've created this table. You see that the first one, when you execute and it is not right, you get an error, you don't get it green, right? So I've created a new table too. I've added a new table to this database called what? Info. See that? So yes, we are looking at how to also how you can delete info, delete something. It's more of like you want to look at the drop statements. You see, these ones are all are the definitions, the data definition. So just as the rename, drop, then the object type and the name. So what are we dropping? We are dropping what? A table. So what are we doing? What is the table name? Then we say what? It is info, just like this. So we are dropping info. We just created info, but we created it because we want to try the drop statement. So if I do this, it has been eliminated. It is no longer under the tables on in what? Tertiary, right? Okay. So yes, that's is one. So yes, we've done the renaming, right? We've done the renaming. Another thing that we would like to do is what? That was the drop. One thing is that drop allowed us to delete the whole table, right? We're able to delete the whole table. So you see that the table is no longer there, right? There will be an instance in which you might not want to delete the whole table, just that you want to what? Delete the elements that are there, that are in the table, right? Right. It's more of like you are removing the elements, what is in the table, but you are leaving the whole structure there. You have a table of info about students, but you don't want to delete the whole table, but you just want to delete the info, the data that is in the table, but the structure should be there, right? So that is when you use the next word, the next statement, that is truncate, right? The next statement is what? The truncate statement. Truncate statement. So truncate equally goes like this. Truncate equally goes like this. I think I just go. The statement comes, then you give what? The object name. So you see that they are all moving in the same structure. So after the object what? Type. What are you truncating? Then the object name. The object what? Name. So let's go. You want to, if you want to truncate, if for instance we had data in our stds, which was our students, then we'll be able to what? Truncate it. So we can just go, if you want to do that, truncate, truncate, then what happens? Truncate, then the object name. The object name is what? Stds, right? Oh, it is not that. The object type first, which is what? Table, then what? Stds. That is what we are doing. So if we run this, you see that it has been executed. It means if there was information inside this table, like we've thrown all away, right? Then nothing will be there. You see that? That is truncating. Truncating allows you to what? Delete more of like you are deleting you are not taking the structure. The house is there, but you are taking everything inside the house away. That is what truncate does, right? Yeah. So we've looked at what? We've been able to create a database, we created a table, we alter alter a database, like modify stuff, right? Then into my OBS. Okay, are we together? Hello, are we together? Are we together? Okay. These ones are just, we are just doing what, some intro, right? Most of the statements will get back to them, right? Today is just what, intro. That's fine. Mhm. So yes, so far you've seen that I've mentioned what, statement. Those words, they are more of like keywords. The keywords were those things that we said what, statement. So alter was one, right? uh, so you saw alter, you saw create, you saw uh right. Okay, somebody is asking. Nashiri says, so if you execute the truncate function, is there any way you can retrieve the data loss? No, please. No, please. It's very important. It's very important you know what you are doing first. If you throw it away, the moment you click, you execute, the human is gone. Okay, so yes, those keywords that we've seen, and those keywords, um, or the statements themselves, we cannot use them as what? You cannot use them as what? Your object names. Just like say, I want to say create alter table, create table. Then I say I want to use my table name. I want my table name to be alter. I want my table name to be table. In fact, it is not possible, right? It is not. We don't do it that way, right? So now the next